Good afternoon, welcome to Schwangen. My name is Gerry Kisoun, and we're spending a beautiful afternoon out here at Elijah Allen's camp out at Kipnik. Out for a cup of tea. Maybe later on we'll catch a fish. I don't know. We'll see. See how it goes. This summer, Inuvik hosted the 35th Circumpolar Northern Games here, and we had teams come in from Alaska. We had them coming in from Nunavut. We had them coming in from all across the Northwest Territories, and we had a very, very great weekend. Oh, this is the senior women's 1 foot high kick. This is where they go and they leave the floor with both feet together. They go up, they kick that seal, land with the same foot that they kicked with, and show the officials that they maintain their balance. Go on, Gerry. This is Meek McDonald here from Fort Smith. Been doing Northern Games and Arctic Winter Games for many years.
One up to 6'4".
This is Heather doing the 1 foot high kick. Sometimes when they do the 1 foot high kick here, if you watch here, sometimes they just stand right underneath it, and they go up, and they kick that seal, and they land, and they maintain their balance. Here again, during the Northern Games, you try your best. You try to go as high as you can if you're doing something like the 1 foot high kick. And once you can't go any higher, you go and shake hands with everybody else. It's all part of the games. All we do is we encourage them to try to do their best. That's all they can do. They go quite a ways doing the 1 foot high kick and so on.
Going for 6 foot 6 inches. Good one, Heather. 6 feet 6 inches.
Each competitor gets 3 tries at this event. You watch them sometimes, they'll go and they'll jump and they'll jump off the floor and they won't break the knee and so on. It's not an attempt as long as they don't break the knee. But as soon as they break the knee and that 1 foot heads towards the seal or towards the object there, well then it's an attempt, scored as an attempt. Here we got some other events going on. Oh, this one's called seal skinning, and this is where they got to skin the seal. The fastest at skinning the seal, I think they got a little team on the go when they're doing this event. And then who's going to be doing fleshing the seal the best, and then they're going to stretch it and stretch it right there on that piece of plywood. And someone will end up using that seal to make some, probably some clothing later on. And with the rest of the seal meat, they cut it all up and process it and put it into the cook pots, and we end up eating it during our event. So a lot of the food that you might see out here, whether it's the seals or whether it's the fish or whether it's the geese that they're working on, when they're done with it, it goes right in the cook pot and helps out with feeding the number of people that we have here taking part in the Northern Games. Looks like we're doing semi-finals here in the 1 foot, in the men's 1 foot high kick, senior men's. They're up to 8 feet 4. Here again, these guys, they go up, they leave the floor with both feet together. Once they leave the floor with both feet together, they kick with that 1 foot and try to kick that seal that's hanging there, and land and maintain their balance. I think I was watching this one here, and this is one where I was telling you earlier about sometimes you see people just about help these people, you know. I think I saw a couple of people every once in a while when they up to kick, their feet move too. So not only these guys, but some people in the audience. So that's how much they get involved in the games that we're doing. The Northern Games, anytime we do Northern Games, we always draw a really good crowd. Whether we're doing Northern Games here in Inuvik, whether we're doing Northern Games in some of our communities, whether we're doing Northern Games at events such as the Arctic Winter Games, and even if we go to and demonstrate Northern Games at things such as the Canada Games and so on, whether the summer games or the winter ones, we always draw a good crowd. People enjoy coming on out and watching traditional events, whether it's put on by the Inuvialuit or whether it's put on by other Aboriginal groups across the country. This one here, they're doing the 1 foot high kick. See, sometimes when you see them get up really high there, that seal moves. It doesn't necessarily mean that they touch the seal with their feet. Sometimes it's just from the speed of the feet going past the seal that it makes it move. You'll see it move for sure when they hit it. 3 attempts, you watch them. You just watch how they operate here. I think that one is, the foot, I think got to straighten out that toe a little bit. Yeah, you got to straighten out that toe. Drop just an inch or so. Yeah, good try. Good try. We'll be right back with more of the 35th Circumpolar Northern Games right here on Schwangen. Welcome back to the 35th Circumpolar Northern Games right here on Schwangen. Here we go, they're doing the kneel jump. They start off in the kneeling position, they jump forward, maintain their balance. It's one of the games. There's a lot of games that we played in the Northern Games. These are some of the games that a lot of people can take part in, so that's the ones that we're playing now. We have things, one time we used to have a game that we call the ear pull. It's where you put a piece of sinew around his ear and around your ear, and then you sit back and you pull and see who's going to be able to withstand the pain a little bit more than the other, I guess. And that's what we used to do. It's called the ear pull. Sometimes, years back, when we used to do the Northern Games, we used to ask people to be really quiet when we do some of our games, and nowadays things have changed a little bit. Some of these young guys and some of the girls out there, they like to have a little noise with them, and away they go. Try to go as far as they can. I think we had a young fella here at the Northern Games a number of years ago that went just a little over 5 feet doing the kneel and jump. And I think if you were able to start off at a kneeling position, you jump forward, and even if you went up maybe 6 or 8 or even 12 inches, that's a real accomplishment. But these kids, some of these young people out here, they've been practicing a lot and doing a lot and doing a lot of training and like I say, one of them a couple of years back got up to a little over 5 feet in the kneeling jump. You just got to make sure that they maintain their balance when they're doing this. Here we got somebody here that just went 51.75 inches. No, did a little bit of sliding. You got to maintain your balance when they do the kneel and jump. Got to make sure that they don't use their hand or any other part of their body to try to maintain their balance. Some of these guys, they try really hard. They only make it just as far as the size of their shoes, some of them. They try hard though, they have lots of fun. Lots of times people take part in these games, they don't necessarily take part to beat everybody else. They take part just to be a part of the games. And that's all we ask. Whether they're Inuvialuit from here or whether they're Inuit from Nunavut, whether they're from their other First Nations or non-Aboriginal, don't matter. Come on out, take part in the Northern Games with us and enjoy the weekend. Meet lots of friendly people, that's for sure.
Come on, James. Good one, Kyle. Second try, one more time, Kyle. Okay, Kyle, final one right here. Kyle Capitano from Manili. Final jump of the afternoon. Hey, good one, Kyle. Kyle Capitano from Manili.
And here's some of our outdoor events. This one here is called the Goose plucking. They get down there and they gotta see who's gonna pluck that goose the fastest. And not only that, it's going to be who's going to have the cleanest product at the end. See, they got to try to pluck all the feathers off. They save as much as they can. If you got a little bit of a wind, then the feathers are going to be blown all over the place.
Show us the art of geese plucking. And if you think they're not fast or whatever, wait till the men pluck theirs. They're probably faster than their husbands or their boyfriends or
Mandy, we were licking I'd be done already.
Yeah.
Doing good, Annie. Keep going. Yeah.
This one here, they call it the men's Alaska high kick. It's where you've got to grab that foot, whether it's the left one or the right one. And the other one is you go up there and you balance your body and you kick that seal and you land on the same foot that you kicked with without any other part of your body touching the floor. Just like that guy right there. And you got to go straight up and straight down. Takes a lot of energy to get up that high. See that? Somebody there went and did that kick. Made it look really easy. This here's a young fella from Tuktoyaktuk, Matty Anakina. I've watched Matty since he was a little junior boy, taking part in these games, and now is in the seniors events and doing pretty darn good. Here again, they're doing the Alaska high kick. They have to go up there and kick that seal, hold on to that other foot, kick that seal, maintain their balance. That looks like here's Matty again. Like a lot of the other events that they do at the Northern Games, we always give them three attempts at each mark or at each height or at each event that they might want to take part in. We'll be right back with more of the 35th Circumpolar Northern Games right here on Schwangen. Welcome back to the 35th Circumpolar Northern Games right here on Schwangen. Okay, here we got just the Alaska high kick again. Right here we got the women doing the Alaska high kick. Here again, you have to grab that one foot and then balance your body and kick the seal with the other foot, the free one, and maintain your balance once you're done. We've been doing these games for many years. Like I said earlier on, Edward Lenny got us going with the Northern Games. I think without Edward being around in them days, it might have taken us a little bit longer to start taking part and becoming involved in some of our traditional and cultural events. I'm not sure where we'd be today if it wasn't for Edward Lenny. And not only that in regards to what he's done for Northern Games, but even us just as grown up as teenagers, where we'd be today. It was, we always say a big thank you to Edward and Jeannie for all the the direction that they've given us over the years.
It's just warming up, I think.
Here they're doing the blanket toss. We got them outside here. This was sort of the end of the games, a beautiful afternoon. And they're out there doing the blanket toss. We got a whole bunch of them on that blanket. And they throw them up like that and see how far they can go. They used to use this here to see if they could find the caribou, and not only see if they could find the caribou when they're inland, but when they're out along the coast, they used to do the blanket toss and see if they could spot some of the whales and that are out in the ocean.
Goodness sake, there's people on here with heart conditions. The other night we threw them up in the gymnasium, we hit those pipes and got 2 stitches. But I ain't going to stop quick grooving. He's from Tuck. Where the goat comes, holy smoke. Spinorama.
We have a lot of fun doing the blanket toss. It's a good crowd pleaser. You got some of these guys that spin around up there, you know, they do spinoramas and so on, and some of them that flip, some of them that can put on a pair of slippers while they're up in the air.
My goodness. You know, a couple of years ago we had some young ladies from Nova Scotia on the blanket. They screamed so loud we seen their tonsils when we threw them up.
Oh, this is William Day, one of our veterans out of Inuvik. William's been doing the Northern Games for years and years out of William. And this is pretty well a human trampoline, eh? Some of them that do lots of different things on that blanket. They throw them up, they flip, some of them they stand, some of them they scream. One thing doing the blanket toss, you got to make sure that the knees are always locked in position, and that your feet don't leave the blanket until they say it's time to go. They usually go 1, 2, 3, and then they throw. Well, that's the end of our program. Tune in next week for part 3 of the Circumpolar Northern Games. Until next time, I'm Gerry Kisoun, Quay 90.
For copies of this program or any other program of Swangan, contact the Inuvialuit Communications Society at Post Office Box 1704, Inuvik NT X0E0T0, or call 867-777-2320. Fax your requests to 867-777-2744, or email us at swangan@northwesthell.net.
Thank you very much.